The next speaker will be Luisa Marangon of Noitech Park, and she will present us how open data can help the acceleration of a territory. Thank you, Luisa, and the floor is yours.
So, can you hear me? Yes? Okay. Yeah, that's me. So, you have to know that this year I wrote my thesis on open data and on this topic. And the reason why I wrote a thesis on that is because I think that I was fascinated by how important open data are and how important they are for our society. So the key results I had after reviewing the literature, after seeing the theory, after seeing what are the fusion of open data and so on, is that there are some key ingredients there are some key ingredients, and open data are very useful for transparency in a society. Then, of course, they foster innovation. They foster also and improve the economical development of a region, as well as the public participation, such as for the citizen, but also in the public, they improve also the efficiency in public services. Then they foster research, scientific research, and collaboration between different economical sectors. So this recipe works with some main ingredients. As I said before, transparency is one, quality of the data that must be up to date, open access and open standards, as well as privacy and protection of sensitive information, and of course IT security, as well as culture of sharing and collaboration between different stakeholders. And then I stress also on the ethical use of open data. So I looked at different examples and different governments, how they use open data. I saw the law within open data, and then I look at home. So in South Tyrol, we are using open data since many years, and the province is promoting the use of open data and the use of different type of data. So you see here that there is a platform, Open Data Hub, that's managed by my colleagues at Noitech Park, that it's the bridge between different type of data. There are different data sets, so you can have weather data, mobility data, traffic data, and so on, provided by different data providers. They are both public institutions, but also private companies. And those data are used by different companies in the region. They are all data of the region. And the role of Open Data Hub is to enable digital solution with the data of the region, and more in the future with the real-time of data of the region. There are also different resources that can be used and different services that the Open Data Hub give access to private, so the data consumers and the data providers as well. So we have the data visualization you can use as a data consumer. You can see what type of data are available, and you can use ready-to-use web components, as well as a company that want to share data and you don't have the capability. The service of the Open Data Hub enable you to open up your data and also understand how your data are used. To give you some numbers, in last year we had over 3 million requests for the data access, and more than 500 websites and web applications use the data that were available on the platform. And we had also more than 50 customers for the additional services offered by the Open Data Hub. Because Open Data offers also the possibility to create new business models, because, as I said before, not every company has the structure and the possibility and the capability to open data, their data, in a structured and high qualitative way. But let's go on the case study I analyzed. So I wanted to be very concrete. So the first example is Brennerlek. It's a former European project that's aimed to create a low corridor emission in the Brenner motorway, and by reducing the air and noise pollution. And how did they do that? By reducing dynamically the speed limits in the highway. And they used this, of course, they didn't do it by chance, but they used a lot of data that was available through the Open Data Hub. And they could improve the air quality and also reduce the traffic during peak hours. And all of those data that were available from the Open Data Hub, let's say weather data, historical weather data, air quality, pollution, real-time traffic data, enabled the traffic management center of the Brenner motorway to optimize those traffic high season peaks, and also while staying within the environmental limits that they had. Second example, it's from a data provider. SkyAlp is a regional aircraft, and for us as Open Data Hub, they work as a data provider. They give all flight information, including time, destination, prices, live updates on departure and arrivals. And those data are used by the data consumers, so by companies. And there are different kinds of benefits. So, for example, tour operators can use those data in order to make easy for the tourists to plan in a unique platform the travel. And for the tourism is also interesting because in South Shore we have the ski season, so in winter, and then the summer season. But maybe for hotel and tourist agency, it's very interesting to suggest to tourists to come here with a direct flight from Wednesday to Sunday and enjoy the South Tyrolean Torgelen in this season and foliage here. Another reason is also that another very concrete case is that the taxi driver, shuttles, and concierge services can organize very efficiently the pickup time of guests. And that's a very easy example, but it's something that has been used with a web component that taxi drivers use for knowing the real-time flight data. So the third example, it's one I really like, actually, because it's based on the local mobility. So the Agency for the Public Transportation in South Tyrol has renewed the web and mobile application. And now you can find there bus and train schedules, but also the real-time parking availability, as well as bike rental station, charging station. Then, of course, you can buy the ticket and validate through the mobile ticketing system. And there is a lot of open data sets used by the Open Data Hub. And there are also included point of interest. So let's say I'm a tourist. I want to go today afternoon to visit Ötzi, the Mammi. I don't know where Ötzi is, of course. And by using the app, I will receive the suggestion that today maybe I won't use the bus, but I will use the bike, because here outside the Neutech Park there is a bike rental station. And so, as a user, I receive suggestion for going from A to B, very specific. And I can also receive suggestion with an intermodal way of traveling. So I can use today, without using the car, I can use the bike for maybe 5 kilometers, then take the bus, and then reach my destination with the cable car. And this has different advantages for tourists as well as for residents, because I can receive notification for any changes. Today there is the national strike, so I will receive the notification if a train is cancelled, for example. And I perceive as a user a higher accountability on the public transport system, and I'm eager to use more this system. So these are examples that brought me to a very easy key result. So that open data that are available through the Open Data Hub in South Tyrol are very beneficial for the region, because their use and can benefit both the data providers and the data consumers as well. And then I thought, Are these examples and these use cases replicable also outside South Tyrol? And I thought, yes, in the first case, the condition of the test is very specific. So it's on the Alpine region and Alpine specification. And so maybe in Switzerland and Austria, these examples and this condition can be met as well. And also for other national motorways. In the second one, we have a regional aircraft. And so that's a very specific case. But maybe for some regional airports in tourist destination, some of the solution that has been found here can be used also for solving any accessibility problems. And the third one is, I think, the most interesting, because here you see where the future can go in the mobility in a city, for example. As a tourist, I'd like to see the view. I'm here to enjoy the view. And as a local, as a resident, maybe I prefer the quicker way. So the app can suggest me different routes for different needs and habits, for example. And in this way, if you interconnect those data and those information also with traffic management in a city, you can solve some of the traffic jams problems that are common, for example. I'm thinking of here, of course, when it's rain. Thinking about the future, I thought, okay, what are the future perspectives? Of course, the correlation between open data and artificial intelligence, that will be extremely important for different reasons. The first one is that artificial intelligence can benefit from open data in the learning models. And then, also for open data AI, it's an advantage because you can analyze so many data much quicker. And you can find patterns very quicker. Then the European perspective. So we heard also in the speech before, in the talks before, that the European Commission has amended like the Open Data Act and the AI Act. And so also the single market in a European vision, it's very important to consider. Talking about the homogenization and also from the legal point of view. Then, of course, data quality and data standards, they are extremely important, and they will be even more in the future because you see, unqualified data and data with no quality has no sense and it's no use. And then I stress again on the ethical use of open data because we have to protect also the access to and the equity of access of data, as well as transparency, privacy, and security protection. Coming back to my first question, can open data accelerate regional development? Short answer, yes. And open data represent, I think, a strategic level for development of a territory. And it can create benefit, more inclusive and innovation communities where companies are encouraged to test the solution, test the products and solution. And then I also thought, okay, South Tyrol, it's a very nice test field for exploring innovative solution and digital solution on different scales, not only on a city, on a bigger scales, but also on smaller scales. And the role of Open Data Hub, it's crucial for fostering open data and digital projects in the region, but also abroad. Thank you.
So there is still 1 minute time for a short question. Is there anyone who wants to pose the question?
Thank you. Okay, so thank you for the presentation. Very, very interesting. I would like to know if you have the chance to compare the situation of our region to the rest of Italy and Europe. So how we, let's say, rank compared to them in terms of open data availability and, let's say, usage. And second, which would be the next steps to let's say, reach the next level, let's say, correlation with AI and create new services and so on and so forth? Thank you.
Okay, regarding the first question, so I focus my research especially on South Tyrol, but then of course I also research on other examples in Italy. And I looked at data portals, governmental data portals, and some examples. But I didn't focus on that specifically. And regarding the second question, so the next step, I think it's collaborating. And then, I think that some aspect will be very automatic. Say automatic is not English, but yeah, they will come very naturally, actually. And I think that also the role of our Open Data Hub, it's that, to enable this next step and this collaboration with different partners and stakeholders.